Tonight on the Northwestern News Report.
As the election heats up, we take you behind the scenes at the second presidential debate.
Together again, Clinton and Gore on the campaign trail.
And the annual Storytelling Festival returns to Evanston.
All those stories and more.
Coming up on the Northwestern News Report. It's your news right now.
Good evening and welcome to the Northwestern News Report. I'm Eric Miller.
And I'm Bria Kalpen. Thanks for joining us. Much of the country was focused on Washington University in St. Louis Sunday for the second presidential debate. Republican nominee Donald Trump faced off against Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton in the 2016 town hall. Questions were fielded from audience members as well as social media, and candidates were given 2 minutes to respond. The debate came in the wake of perhaps the biggest scandal of the campaign so far, the release of a 2005 tape in which Trump bragged about allegedly sexually assaulting women. NNN's D.C. correspondent Andrew Merica was there.
No punches were held back Sunday night at the second presidential debate in St. Louis. Before the debate, we went inside the spin room and around campus to see what it takes to put an event of this magnitude together, and more importantly, to hear how students felt about the candidates. Saturday was setup day at Washington University in St. Louis as campaigns, media, and university staff prepared for one of the most anticipated presidential debates in our nation's history. As Americans thought about what they wanted to hear from the candidates, Wash U students were no different.
I'd really like to hear a lot more about how the candidates are differentiating themselves from policy. Clinton kind of basically just refers people to her website when talking about policy, and Trump, I don't even know what his policies are.
While many students had a lighter view of presidential politics,
so I made a Trump killed Harambe poster.
Others had specific ideas of how they'd like candidates to address issues important to them.
An important issue to me is environmental regulations and all that.
After last night, I'm sure that sexual assault is going to be a major topic, at least, from the debate.
Trump's hot mic comments about women were central for many students at Wash U.
To promote assault as something to boast about and something to reinforce your power and your masculinity is something really dangerous that I think already pervades in society.
Despite negative politics, some students were just excited to be hosting a debate.
It's been very surreal because nothing really hits you until the news and the media start coming in.
On Sunday, campus was packed, everyone wanting their voice to be heard.
People to come out and meet us and realize that we're not a caricature, we're not a joke. Some young lady just flipped me off. That was nice. Thanks.
We have two candidates who are the most unpopular candidates in recent history, and yet, the CPD, still in the interest of the two-party system, isn't letting anybody else into the debates.
Unapologetic opinions before the debate led to more after the debate, just outside Debate Hall in the spin room.
Her best answer was when she was asking to be a president that's devoted to everyone. And people see this is someone who's ready to be president for all of America.
Who's going to help lower people's taxes, reduce the regulatory burden and the financial burdens that are placed on families. I think Mr. Trump laid out a clear vision on that.
Voters had plenty of questions before the debate, and it looks like they still might have those questions now after the debate. The candidates next square off in Las Vegas, Nevada on October 19th. For the Northwestern News Report, I'm Andrew Merica.
Thanks so much, Andrew. Nearly 66.5 million people tuned in for the second debate Sunday, about 20 million fewer than the first debate.
Members of Northwestern's Communications Residential College were among those 60 million people who watched Sunday's presidential debate. But unlike many viewers, they had an expert to help them analyze the event. NNN's Andy Weir has the story.
Sunday night, Communication Studies Professor Emeritus David Zarefsky joined residents of Northwestern's Communications Residential College, also known as CRC, for a brief chat about presidential debate history before this year's second presidential debate began. Professor Zarefsky followed up the debate with a second discussion.
The question is, who's going to say what you said about it?
I really enjoyed the event. I liked the professor speaking. It was very interesting, and it was nice to be able to discuss with your peers about the debate afterwards.
Zarefsky says these types of events are critical in encouraging more Americans to watch the debates, especially younger voters.
I think this is particularly important for young people who are casting their first votes and may not have a record of issues and ideas that have run throughout the parties over a long period of time, and who are particularly capable of of watching them and getting a sense of the flow of the argument and the exchange.
Overall, students left the debate with mixed reactions to both candidates.
In a more serious political context, it's really sad to see that the behavior of both candidates, specifically Donald Trump's behavior, has just been escalated to such a national platform that this is how we're representing ourselves to the world.
I don't think it really changed anything for me. It just reaffirmed what I already thought, which was my support for Hillary Clinton.
Andy Weir, Northwestern News Report.
CRC plans on hosting a third presidential debate viewing event on October 19th.
Following the second debate, both candidates are on the campaign trail again. Hillary Clinton was in Florida earlier today with former Vice President Al Gore. Our own Kelly Norris was there.
Hillary Clinton and Al Gore campaigning together is a scene that may look familiar to parents who saw the two together in the 90s from Bill Clinton's presidential campaign. But this time around, the message from the presidential candidate and former vice president was one aimed to get millennials on her side.
We must confront the climate challenge. There's no doubt about that. And so let's move on with the kind of leadership that the world as well as our country deserves.
To a crowd of 1,600 at the Miami-Dade College Kendall campus, Clinton began her event by speaking about the importance of a climate crisis and her own plan to fight it.
Building and installing more solar panels and wind turbines, modernizing our electric grid, retrofitting buildings, building resilient 21st century infrastructure. And we have to make sure no community is left out or left behind.
Although Donald Trump supporters interrupted Clinton several times,
Obligation to protect our planet for our children.
The candidate told the crowd to stay focused on the real issues and brought up her opponent's earlier denials.
Remember what's at stake. I'm running against a guy who denies science, denies climate change, says it's a hoax.
Gore won a Nobel Peace Prize in 2007 for his work with an international environmental panel. During his remarks, he echoed Clinton's emphasis on climate change, but also wanted to drive home another topic for the crowd.
Your vote really, really, really counts. You can consider me as an Exhibit A of that.
Gore, who lost his own presidential race in 2000 due to a close vote in Florida, knows the importance of each vote, especially in the swing state. Kelly Norris, Northwestern News Network.
Former President Bill Clinton was also in Florida campaigning for his wife at voter registration events throughout the state. Meanwhile, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump is in Florida through Thursday. The latest NBC Wall Street Journal mayor's poll has Clinton and Trump in a deadlock in Florida with 46-44 in Clinton's favor.
And for more coverage on the election, we're now joined by Politicat associate producer Matt Zadun. Matt, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So Matt, obviously the big story this weekend and going into the debate was the Trump tape. What happened there?
Well, Eric, on Friday, the Washington Post published a tape from 2005 showing Donald Trump and Access Hollywood's Billy Bush having a sexually explicit conversation in which Trump bragged about groping, kissing, and propositioning women while married to his new wife, Melania, who was then pregnant with their son, Barron. The tape came from an unnamed source within NBC, which owns Access Hollywood, and the fallout from the tape has been immense for Trump, with dozens of Republican lawmakers and leaders jumping ship. Trump's wife Melania and running mate Mike Pence have both released statements condemning the remarks about women while still supporting the candidate. Now, we'll have lots more on this developing story, as well as last Sunday's debate on this week's episode of Politicat, which is on Thursday on the Northwestern News Network.
Matt, we look forward to it. And Americans are less than a month from Election Day, and things aren't only heating up in Washington. NNN's Michelle Beck is joining us to tell us more about a congressional race right here in Illinois. Michelle?
Thanks, Eric. Congressional candidates Bob Dole and Brad Schneider attended a student forum last Wednesday in Des Plaines, Illinois, to address the rising cost of higher education. Nearing the end of a competitive campaign for Illinois' 10th congressional district, Democrat Brad Schneider and Republican Bob Dole visited students at Oakton Community College to hear their voices and try to get their vote.
The town hall format gave approximately 30 minutes to each candidate. Dold is currently vying for his second consecutive term in the Democratic-leaning district. He reached out to the audience by explaining his own struggle to pay for college.
I'm still paying student loans today, right? So I understand. I get it.
Schneider, a former congressman of the district, returned after one term out of office. During the forum, he sympathized with the obstacles the cost of education creates.
Issues that affect everyone here in this room, and more than anything else, issues that affect the future for our young people.
Students also had the opportunity to ask candidates directly about the issues that matter to them. Gus Scholey, a first-generation college student, was concerned that the free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA, is too difficult for students to complete.
Everyone had told me, apply for financial aid, that you would get some money, and, a little money helps, anything you can get when you pay for school. But the process was just so confusing and complicated.
Both candidates offered their solutions. Dold referred Scholey to already existing state grants.
Ultimately, it's going to be that bit of aid that we can provide with regard to Pell Grants.
And Schneider said it comes down to transparency.
No one should be pulling their hair out completing these forms.
But in the end, Scholey said Schneider was more direct.
Congressman Dole was very polite, but he kind of seemed to allude that it doesn't have anything to do with the Congress, that it's more just a state level thing, which I'm not sure if I completely agree with.
This election is Dold and Schneider's third time going head-to-head. We'll see them face off next Sunday at the League of Women Voters debate. And we'll have more coverage for you on that event on next week's Northwestern News Report.
When we come back from NU to North Dakota, students send their support to Dakota Access Pipeline protesters.
I'm Anika Henniger, and when we come back, I'll have your 5-day weather forecast.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
Good evening, I'm Anika Henniger, and here's your 5-day weather forecast. We'll need our rain boots to kick off this coming Wednesday as thunder showers roll in by mid-afternoon, but no need to worry about the cold quite yet, as we can expect a mild high of 71 and a low of 46. The beautiful sun is going to pop back out as we near the end of our work week. For Thursday, we can expect a sunny high of 55 and low of 44. And signaling the start to a fantastic weekend, the sunshine will inch up our Friday temps to a high of 61 and a low of 52. Now Saturday will be no disappointment either. We can expect mostly sunny conditions alongside a high of 72 and a low of 64. And this Sunday, we can finally cozy up in our fall sweaters as the partly cloudy skies cool off the weekend, bringing us a high of 67 and a low of 59 degrees. Overall, it's the perfect time to get outside and soak up the autumn weather. This has been Anika Henniger bringing you your 5-day weather forecast.
Northwestern chemistry professor Sir Fraser Stoddart was awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry on Wednesday. Stoddart is part of a team of 4 professors from around the world awarded the prize for miniaturizing machines to analyze molecules at an even smaller scale than scientists were previously able to. Stoddart, originally from Scotland, joined the Northwestern faculty in January 2008. This is the second Nobel Prize awarded to a member of Northwestern's chemistry department. The first went to the late John A. Popel. in 1998.
Nate Silver stopped by campus last week to give the One Book, One Northwestern lecture on his book, The Signal and the Noise. All incoming students were given a copy of the book, which talks about making accurate predictions on just about anything in the world of big data. Silver is perhaps best known for his news site, 538, which provides analysis across many areas, including politics. NNN caught up with Silver before the talk to get his take on the 2016 election and what he thinks makes this one different.
You can't solve like a big human capital problem overnight. It's going to take a generation or at least half a generation.
For more of Nate Silver's predictions and analysis, visit 538.com.
Students took to the streets at NU yesterday to show solidarity with Native tribes that have been protesting the construction of an oil pipeline in North Dakota. Around 50 students and Chicago residents came together from a number of organizations, most notably No Dakota Access Pipeline Chicago and Fossil Free NU. After a rally at the Rock, the protesters marched to Norris. Overlooking Lake Michigan, the group called for protecting water resources. According to protest leader Lorenzo Godino, the groups were seeking to raise awareness of the issue and increase student involvement. Godino also added that the protest kicks off a week-long winter clothes drive at the Rock. After the break, the project that could bring free menstrual products to campus.
At Northwestern, we're wildcats in every way.
Northwestern, break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
2 weeks ago, campus organizations released a survey asking students about their thoughts on a Northwestern program to provide free menstrual products in university bathrooms. NNN's Meredith Sonnenfeld has more.
Students from College Feminists, Rainbow Alliance, Associated Student Government, and others posted a survey in late September designed to, quote, determine the optimal design of a program that would provide free menstrual products in all Northwestern bathrooms. The proposed Northwestern model is inspired by a similar program at Brown University. Students like Amanda O'Daz, Sexual Health and Assault Peer Educators Social Outreach Chair, says the groups are hoping to stress the idea that menstrual products are necessities, not luxuries.
The way I look at it, menstrual products are just as necessary for someone who is menstruating as toilet paper is.
O'Daz also says the project is designed to be a move towards more inclusivity on campus.
Menstrual products can be really expensive. Tampons can be super expensive, and that can be a barrier for low-income students. So if we can remove that barrier, that's just, one more step towards making school more accessible.
According to Christina Salento, ASG president, the level of student response was overwhelming.
The results of the survey blew me away. We normally have to try pretty hard to get a few hundred students to take a survey, and we just released this on Facebook and through a few email listservs and got 1,000 responses in the first day and a half.
Of the close to 1,000 students who took the survey, nearly 90% said the possibility of launching this program was important or very important to them. 3% of students said this program was unimportant or very unimportant to them, and around 8% of students were neutral. In the survey, students also indicated where on campus they would like to see these products.
So our top two were academic buildings and then what we call third spaces, so places like Norris, the Black House, stuff like that.
ASG is planning to begin a pilot program for the project soon, providing free menstrual products in select bathrooms to determine how many people might use them. If the program is successful, Salento says they will ask the university to fund the products permanently.
For the pilot, it looks like it's going to largely be coming from ASG and from other grants.
Meredith Sonnefeld, Northwestern News Report.
Salento says she hopes the pilot program will start within the next 3 weeks.
The Northwestern Police Department released its annual safety and security report last week. The report, which looks at crimes committed on Northwestern's campuses worldwide, found that crime was up slightly over the last year. On campus, burglaries were up, as were liquor and drug law violations. In particular, reported rapes jumped from 3 in 2014 to 8 in 2015, something that has many students concerned. However, the president of SHAPED, Molly Benedict, says that number may be misleading.
I'm glad that people are reporting, because that means we've created a safe enough space that survivors are ready to come forward and report and do all of these things. So I'm really not sure that a higher number of reports means a higher number of assaults.
Benedict says SHAPE will stay committed to decreasing the number of assaults on campus.
All reports of sexual misconduct will now be handled by the university's Sexual Harassment Prevention Office. That's according to an email sent to students on Thursday from Joan Slavin, Northwestern's Title IX coordinator. Complaints can now be submitted to the office in any form, including by email, through an online form, or in person. The university also updated its policy on sexual misconduct over the summer to include its definition of consent and a longer list of confidential resources on campus. For more information on how to report sexual misconduct on campus, visit northwestern.edu/sexual-harassment.
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and the members of the Alpha Chi Omega sorority are preparing for their largest philanthropy of the year. As part of the month-long programming, Alpha Chi members are hoping to raise awareness about domestic violence while also celebrating healthy relationships. During the month, the sorority hosts a variety of events, including last week's Walk a Mile in Her Shoes, where participants raised money for the Northwest Center Against Sexual Assault. Jamie Jo Yin Waldorf, the Vice President of Philanthropy for Alpha Chi, says she hopes to educate the Northwestern community on the issue of domestic violence. Events coming up this month include the Haze Play, a one-woman show about sexual assault, and Purple Night Lights, where Alpha Chi members will hand out purple flameless candles to represent solidarity with victims of domestic violence.
Coming up, the most important game of the year for Wildcat sports. Stay tuned.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
You know, Alex, after your sports report last week, I turned on my TV this Saturday, decked out all in purple, and I couldn't find the Cats anywhere.
That's right, Eric. The Cats got a much-deserved week off. They had a bye this week, but even so, Wildcat sports did not stop there. In fact, some might say this was the biggest week of the school year yet for Northwestern athletics. After all, the football team's only 2-3, but women's soccer, they're 12-1-1. But this weekend would be the biggest test for Michael Moynihan's squad, with highly anticipated matchup against number 19 Michigan. But first, Sparty came to town. A rainy night under the lights at the newly renovated Martin Stadium, but Cats couldn't make it rain in 6 shots on goal. That's Savannah Wojciechowski in goal for Michigan State. 6 saves for the junior. Cats missed 17 shots, but finally in overtime, Maddie Lucas, Cassidy Goman, the goal. One more time, we are going to take a look at this one because it is a beauty. Wojciechowski can't get her hands on this one, and the Cats pull out the squeaker 1-0 in 93 minutes. And that sets up the big showdown at home against the Wolverines, the Big Ten leader who the Cats hadn't beaten since 2011. Let's take a look. The game's so big, in fact, the Northwestern Athletic Department breaking out HD cameras. Coach Michael Moynihan is pumped. Some slow-mo action here, too, as Nandi Mehta on the kick. A goal for Northwestern. 14 minutes in, they take a 1-0 lead. But here now, after it's tied, the header puts Northwestern up 2-1. The Cats pull out the big one. They take the Big Ten lead. That's her first goal of her career. 11 saves for Lauren Clem, whose incredible season continues. And the now Big Ten leading Wildcats head to Iowa City to square off against the Hawkeyes Thursday. Finally, if football season's just not doing it for you, don't worry, basketball is right around the corner. It's just 23 days away now, and the Cats released their first promo video for the new season. Check it out.
Understand one thing, and we've talked about it a lot. For us to take the next step where we want to go, we have to be the toughest team. Nobody is going to give us anything. And you know what? That's how I want it. I want to earn respect. I want to earn everything. And I want it with this group. Because you guys have worked, and it's time. It's time.
Wow, I'm really pumped now. Thanks, Alex. For more on Wildcat Sports, check out Sports Nights Thursday at 7.
And coming up, we'll tell you how stories are bringing the Evanston community together.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all the go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
Evanston Public Library's second annual Storytelling Festival opens Saturday night. NNN's Isabella Zhao has more.
Stories, poems, songs, and sign language. A range of nationwide professional storytellers showcase their work at the second annual Storytelling Festival hosted by Evanston Public Library. In addition to 5 featured storytellers, the weekend-long festival included an open mic stage for the public. Participants were able to register beforehand or join on the spot at walk-up stages. Evanston Public Library Director Karen Leon says the public involvement is what makes this storytelling festival unique.
What we also do, I think, is to connect people with ideas and with each other. Powerful stories and sharing stories really does that. It builds community, it builds empathy. We get to know our neighbors so much better and also get to know ourselves better.
For some attendees, it's that community building which keeps them coming back. Local resident Lieslat Schuster says she comes to the festival every year because she enjoys meeting people through their performances.
You just feel connected, just people that you don't know and they're telling you their life stories, go into different places and years and times and events. You connect for that 20 minutes. I like it.
Evanston residents are not the only ones to feel that connection. Full-time storyteller Donna Washington says of all the storytelling events she performs at, the Evanston Festival is one of her favorites.
This one is really special because it's in my stomping grounds. It's where I started. The fact that you have one here in Evanston. So when they called and asked to do it, I said, of course. Even if I'm not on stage, I'm going to be intense listening.
Isabella Zhao, Northwestern News Report.
The festival featured 29 events, all of which were free and open to the public. That's all we have for you tonight. For the Northwestern News Report, I'm Bria Kalpen.
I'm Alex Letterman for sports.
And I'm Eric Miller. Good night.